It's pretty obvious what I'm here to talk about today. From the title of this video and the picture on the screen right now. Tilapia fish. Something I think has been overlooked or underestimated in certain ways in this part of the world, and by that I mean Africa. And I've got a few things to say about it. Sit tight. According to statistics from researchgate.net, Nigeria imports about 720,000 tons of frozen fish that was valued at over 500 million US dollars annually. 500 million US dollars annually. Now, when you convert that to Naira, what do you get? 182.5 billion Naira annually importing frozen fish. This ranked Nigeria as the highest importer of seafood in Africa. Okay, now, according to FAO reports, in Africa, or more specifically sub-Saharan Africa, the average fish consumption rate is estimated at approximately 9 kilos per capita. 9 kilos per capita, that means on the average, everyone eats around 9 kilos of fish every year in Africa or sub-Saharan Africa, while the global average fish consumption rate is estimated at 19 kilos per capita. So we have like a deficit of 10 kilos when compared to the rest of the world. And this is largely due to limited supplies, not that people can't afford it. And what's the resulting effect? Sharp increase in seafood imports from other parts of the world. Now, for Nigeria and the rest of Africa, no problem importing what you love but can't farm or produce, because I know we love seafood. We love all kinds of fish. Like we see here, we have different ways we want to prepare. We prepare them to eat and enjoy ourselves. We have got all kinds of ideas when it comes to preparing fish, making a dish from seafood. But what about importing what you can farm, what you can produce? Because among the seafood or frozen fish imported into Nigeria and other African nations is tilapia fish. And you know what else? Tilapia is native to Africa. That means it's an African fish. The rest of the world got it from here, from Africa, and they improved on it. And today we are buying from the rest of the world. We're buying from them. Now that's something we've got to address, because there's huge demand for it, and we can produce it here. If there's huge demand for it here, that means, and then we can also produce it here, then there's an opportunity for us to take advantage of, especially smart farmers and entrepreneurs to key into. Now, global aquaculture production continues to be on the increase in order to meet up with the ever-increasing demand for fish, especially as fish from capture is steadily decreasing. You can see here aquaculture production in blue and the increase over the years, and then capture production, that is fish gotten from the wild. It's just remained on a particular level, about just a little bit above 80 million tons over the years. It's remained at that level, but see aquaculture production sharp increase. Okay, so this makes aquaculture production the only hope to meet the demand for fish. So we need to increase aquaculture production, not just in Africa, globally. Now, when we talk of tilapia farming, people seem to think, some people, not everyone, but most farmers in Nigeria, and I guess in other parts of Africa as well, seem to think it's a mystery. But I'd like us to know that culturing catfish was once a mystery in Nigeria as well. As in, people didn't know how to do it. They weren't successful in it. A lot of people tried, only a few persons succeeded. Until there was technology transfer. People were imparted with the knowledge in how to farm catfish. And today, farmers are succeeding left, right, center, everywhere in catfish production in Nigeria. And Nigeria today is the highest producer of African catfish. Not just in Africa, but globally, producing over 150,000 tons in 2015, according to FAO reports. And that number could easily have doubled by now, because in Nigeria today, everywhere you go, you see catfish farm, catfish farm, catfish farm. I mean, we farm it now like for fun, for sport, just like these guys. It's so easy to do now. We know how to breed catfish now. We know how to grow catfish now. We just know the way around catfish now. Now I'm going to add the links to this to the FAO report and the report from researchgate.net. We have been getting those statistical data from. I'm adding it in the description of this video. Under this video, there's a description. Check there. You can get the links to those data, and you can go through it for yourself. It's also important to know that Nigeria is the second largest producer of aquaculture products in Africa. Wow. Highest producer of African catfish globally. Second largest producer of aquaculture products in Africa. And at the same time, highest importer of seafood in Africa. Now, what strikes you immediately when you put all these three things now together? Demand is very high and supply is low. Personally, for me, I think in terms of aquaculture development in Nigeria, much of the focus has been on catfish production. Nothing wrong with that, but I think that's where we have stopped in terms of aquaculture development in this nation, because even each time you hear about a training, an aquaculture training coming up, either organized by corporate organizations or individuals or even government, some government organized trainings, mostly what you see is it's catfish. I think we've focused so much on catfish. We've overlooked or not looked into a species like tilapia, because globally tilapia fish is now the #1 most cultured fish in the world today. Some report says, okay, it's now it's the second most cultured fish after carp. That's a carp made by carp, CARP. Carp fish is #1. But there's some new reports emerging that says tilapia fish is now #1 globally, the number one most cultured fish in the world today. I mean, if we're the largest producer of aquaculture products in Africa, highest producer of African catfish globally, highest importer of seafood in Africa, amongst which is tilapia fish, then why are we not producing tilapia fish in Nigeria like we produce catfish, or even much more than that? Because nations with the highest global fish production output, particularly in Asia, have tilapia as either the first or second most cultured species. And even when they do culture this, and then where do they export most of this tilapia to? Right here, Africa. Now, I've heard people say, well, we produce catfish more in Nigeria because only few people eat tilapia. And I say, who then eats the tons of tilapia and other frozen fish imported into the country? Because there's massive importation, like from the report I gave you. You see, we import frozen frozen fish worth 182.5 billion naira annually. Amongst that, I'm not saying it's all tilapia, no, not nearly, not almost. But amongst that is tilapia. So if we love tilapia so much in Nigeria and in Africa, why are we not producing this massively? Now, there are a lot of misconceptions about tilapia fish or tilapia farming in Nigeria, and probably in other parts of Africa as well, which has limited people or hindered people from venturing into tilapia farming. Now, I'm going to be talking about the prospects and the challenges as well as misconceptions of tilapia farming in another video, but I'll quickly like to talk about one or two misconceptions that people have about tilapia right here now. And the first, tilapia is a bony fish. Really? Now, I was talking about tilapia farming on the radio program some time ago. It was a phone-in program where listeners could call in and comment or ask questions on what was being discussed. And unsurprisingly, majority of the calls were focused on this. People kept asking, why are you talking about farming tilapia? Tilapia is a bony fish. It doesn't grow well. You know what? I guess this picture they have in their minds about tilapia being a bony fish, it all came from what they see when they go to the market. You see, what we see and what we get when we go buy tilapia at the market has now formed a picture of tilapia fish in our minds. The most of the fish you get from the market, tilapia fish, when you get from the market when you go buy, are those ones gotten from the wild by local fishermen. Now, these ones are the majorly small tilapias, and actually you could call those bony tilapias like you see here, majorly around 100 gram, maybe 150 gram, or even less than 100 gram. That's what they get. Majorly, you can get some big ones, but majorly from the wild, that's what they get. Now, I'm not talking about when you go to the cold room or supermarkets, because there you find big size tilapia, of which most of them are imported. I'm not saying we don't farm tilapia here. We do. Very few persons. Very, very few. You can literally count the number of persons farming tilapia in Nigeria today. But talk of catfish, no, don't even go there. You can't count. Everywhere you turn, every corner, every backyard, there's a little small catfish farm there. No problem with that. I'm only saying we need to give focus to this as well, because there's a huge opportunity here for us. Not just Nigeria, in Africa. This is one fish we love so much, we eat it a whole lot, and yet we import a whole lot. Whereas we can farm it here, we can grow it here. Okay? Now back to the 100 gram size tilapia we find in our markets. Of course, tilapia fish that is that small will be bony. And since this is what people see when they go to the market or when they go by, they have come to the conclusion that tilapia fish is a bony fish. Well, try eating a 1 kg size tilapia or even a 500 gram size tilapia like you see here, and come tell me about it. But then comes the very next misconception. 500 gram size tilapia, 1 kg tilapia. How's that going to happen? Tilapia fish doesn't grow big. That is the very next thing you hear from farmers. You hear a farmer say, well, I tried growing tilapia one time and all they did was multiply in my pond and it didn't grow much. They probably grew to around 200 or 250 gram and it took about 6 to 7 months. Well, that's because you are culturing mixed sex. That is both male and female tilapia together. What you need to understand is that male tilapia grows faster than female tilapia. But when you stock both male and female tilapia together, which is what is called mixed sex culture, their growth rate is reduced as they are involved in constant reproduction activities. And the female tilapia reproduces massively. Each female tilapia produces about 500 eggs every month. So what happens when you culture mixed sex? You get mass multiplication, uncontrolled reproduction, because the female tilapia, they continuously produce eggs, and then the male tilapias, they are continually fertilizing the eggs. So all their energy is focused on reproduction rather than growth. The effect, the growth of the male fish, which is supposed to be fast, is reduced, like I earlier pointed out, due to constant reproduction. The mass and uncontrolled reproduction leads to overcrowding of the pond, which means less space for the fish to grow, leading to stunted growth. And the drastic increase in number of fish in the pond leads to high competition for feed. All these factors leading to what? Stunted fish, small and uneven sized tilapia fish. Just like you see here right now. So what do we do then? Stock only male tilapia. All male tilapia. That is what is called monosex culture. Only male tilapia. You see these guys here? They're all male. So all they do, they sleep, they wake up, go to the gym, build muscles, eat, sleep, wake up, go to the gym, build muscles. But seriously, that way you eliminate reproduction, thus improving their growth rate. You eliminate overcrowding, which now leaves them with enough space to grow, and you also get to eliminate high competition for feed. Now, what does this leave you with? Big sized tilapia, like you see here now, anywhere from 500 gram to 1 kilo, even above 1 kilo, depending on your target. You see this one right here, 970 grams, about a kilo. I supply this tilapia fingerlings to this customer, and by the time we were selling, they were around a kilo, 1 kilo sizes. So do you now see that tilapia does grow big, and it is not a bony fish? These are some of the things that sort of hinders people from venturing into tilapia farming. Now, yeah, tilapia farming has its own challenges, of course. Like I said, I'm going to discuss this in another video, both the challenges and the prospects in tilapia farming. Now, I've been playing my role in creating awareness in Nigeria about the opportunities tilapia farming presents for job creation, poverty reduction, and food security, which, by the way, are all in line with the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. Last year, by the grace of God, we organized a conference, Goldfisher Tilapia Conference. Goldfisher, that's my company, where I brought in a world-renowned expert in tilapia farming from Thailand, who also happens to be my partner in business in the aquaculture industry. And I'm talking about Dr. Ram Bujel of the Asian Institute of Technology, which, by the way, is where I got trained on tilapia farming before I came back home to set up. And of course, we made the news. So we had this conference in 3 cities, Lagos, Abuja, and Warri, sensitizing the nation on tilapia farming. And you know what? It was completely free. Yes, you heard me right. And participants had lunch to go with it as well. Now, if you see this padre right here, top right, this padre started his tilapia farm for his church right after this conference. Just to mention that, because I saw him in the picture and I was going to mention that. I didn't do this on my own. I had 2 wonderful partners who saw the vision, what I was trying to achieve, and sensitizing the nation, encouraging people to go into tilapia farming, and they decided to key into it. And to the glory of God, the conference was a huge success. Now, since then, I've been receiving calls from people asking about when the hands-on training is going to be. When is the hands-on training coming up? What's the next step? Even a government official is asking me, what's the next step for Tilapia Boom? Because that was the catchphrase of the conference, Tilapia Boom Nigeria. Now everyone's asking, what's the next phase? What next for Tilapia Boom? Well, here's what I'm going to do. First, online training. Beginning from this month, I'll start a series on my YouTube channel right here, where I'll be teaching you how to grow tilapia fish, step by step. Everything broken down to the basics. Probably each video maybe about 10-15 minutes thereabout each video, but it's going to run all through the year. It's going to be easy to follow. I mean, we're going to be looking at things like the different ways to culture tilapia nutrition, how to set up and prepare your ponds before stocking your tilapia, and a whole lot more. Everything broken down to the basics for everyone to be able to comprehend and understand. Now, like I said earlier on, it's going to be a series that will run throughout the year. Maybe 2 or 3 videos in a month. I don't know how many I can do for now, because I guess making these videos takes some time, takes a while. This one now, this one you're watching now, producing it, will let me know how often I can make more videos, because I have to actually do some shooting in the farm, showing you things. So maybe 2 or 3 videos in a month. And you know what else? If you've got any question on tilapia farming, on any area you would like us to talk about in any of my training, any of the videos, any of the videos that will be coming out on tilapia farming, just send your questions to info@goldfisher.com.ng. Remember, I said info@goldfisher.com.ng. Do not forget the .ng. It doesn't end with .com. If you send to goldfisher.com without the .ng, you'll be sending your mail to this guy. Okay, so make sure you send to goldfisher.com.ng. all right, so if you've not yet subscribed to this channel, just make sure you subscribe now. Hit the subscribe button and be sure to turn on the notification also, so you get notified each time I release a new video. Now, if you've seen any of my previous training videos, like the one on catfish production or that of processing smoked fish, you'll have an idea what my training videos look like. I'm just going to go ahead right now and add a link to those videos I did in the past right here. I'll add a link in the description of this video. Now, talking about that, I did that of catfish production. I actually did that video in 2009. That's when I shot that video. 2009 to 2020. That's 11 years. 11 years ago I shot that video, but I uploaded it in YouTube in 2014. Now, you need to understand that video is still very, very useful to today. But when it comes to feed formulation, we do not formulate feed that way anymore, because I get people calling me to ask me, how do you formulate your feed locally? I tell them that was in 2009. We don't formulate feed locally that way anymore. There are cheaper feeds to use now, and then there are better ways to formulate feed locally. Maybe I'll do another video on that, just to update that. And of course, the figures given there, financial figures there, is no longer reality. Things have gone up, and I guess there was a mix also in talking about stocking density, mixing feeds and feed with meters. So I think I'll do a follow-up video just to come to terms with present day reality. Now, what else am I going to do about Tilapia Boom? Hands-on training on how to grow table size tilapia. Now, this is for those living right here in Nigeria. You see, what you see or hear, you may forget, but what you do, you very rarely forget. It stays with you. It becomes part of you, especially if you do it consistently. Now, these are pictures from previous trainings I've had with different groups at my farm and smokehouse as well. And if you're not ready to get wet and dirty, don't even come for this training, because you're going to be looking like my friends here or maybe not. Now, more details of how and where these trainings will take place will be released through this channel also. For those living in Delta State and neighboring states as well, it's going to be taking place at my farm in Warri. This is just outskirts of Warri actually. And like I said earlier on, more details on the training will be coming up. So again, make sure you follow this channel, make sure you subscribe and watch every video so you don't miss vital informations. And you know what? The hands-on training is going to be absolutely free. Yeah, I know you like that. But before you start screaming like my brothers and sisters here, I know these guys, the way they're jubilating here, it looks like NEPA just brought light after a very, very long while. Now, if you're not from Nigeria, you may not understand what I just said. But my Nigerian brothers and sisters can relate with what I just said with this picture. Now, before you go screaming like that, understand what I mean when I said free. Now, you're not going to be paying money for it, but I'm not going to be spending my money also for this training. What this implies is if you're going to need anything for the practicals, which definitely I'm sure you need one or two things, you're going to buy it and bring it along with you. I'm not going to be spending my money. I'm going to be giving the knowledge free, train you, teach you how to grow tilapia, grow out table size, but I'm not going to be spending my money to do that. If we need to get anything, make that happen, you're going to buy and bring along. Is that understood? And then of course, I'm not going to be providing any lunch this time, so you better come with your own lunch. Okay? Now, what about my African brothers and sisters living in other parts of the continent? Here's what I'm going to do. Seminars and hands-on training in different cities of Africa. Now, just like I did when we organized Goldfisher Tilapia Conference in Nigeria last year, someone has to take the initiative in your country, my brother, my sister. If an individual, a group of people, or a cooperative, an organization, or the government in your country is willing to organize a seminar and training on tilapia farming for the benefit of the people of that nation, then I render my services for free. But please understand, I said for seminars and trainings. You don't come here to come set up a farm for you and expect me to come do it for free. I'm a businessman. I'm going to charge you for that. I'm talking about organizing seminars and trainings, okay? I have to be very clear on that, so someone doesn't call me up tomorrow and say, you said you're going to come do this for me for free. No, organizing seminars and trainings for the benefit of the people, then I'm going to render my service for free. Now, if you want to do this, please send me a mail to the address you see right here, info@goldfisher.com.ng. all right, please send me a mail and then we can discuss some more. I think at the end of this video, maybe I'll provide my phone numbers also. You can reach me by phone or WhatsApp, whichever one is easier for you. All right, now that is my plan for Tilapia Boom. That is the next step. That is what, by the grace of God, I'm going to be doing this year. In my church, the prophetic word for this year is breaking limits. So that's what we're going to be doing at Goldfisher this year, right here on this channel, regarding tilapia farming. We're going to be taking off the limits that's up till now stopped you from farming tilapia successfully. My father in the faith, Dr. David Odipo, said, there is no mountain anywhere. Every man's mountain is his ignorance. So through the knowledge you will get this year, right here on this channel, the mountains will all be gone and you'll be farming tilapia successfully. Can I get an amen? Moving forward, I'd like to let you know that my business name, Goldfisher, in full, Goldfisher Innovations and Logistics Limited. Goldfisher, that's what I call myself. That's our brand name. Goldfisher is biblical, gotten from Matthew 17:27, where Jesus asked Peter to cast a hook into the sea, and the first fish that comes up, he said, open his mouth and you will find a coin. Open his mouth and you will find a coin. So that is where, by inspiration, divine inspiration, we got the name Goldfisher. He has to say, in every fish is a gold coin. So we fish for that coin. Hallelujah. Sounds like I'm preaching now, right? Okay. Now I had to travel all the way to Asia to learn how to farm tilapia. And I'll be giving you step-by-step guidance right here on this channel. If you have any questions, please send me an email right there, info@goldfisher.com.ng. And who knows, that question may end up being my focus on one of the episodes in the series starting this month. So in conclusion, at Goldfisher we believe in every fish is a gold coin. We fish for that coin and teach others too. I see you all breaking limits in tilapia farming this year. This is Goldfisher signing out. Have a blessed day, people. Go break limits.